A Jackson County kindergarten class wrote a letter to an important person in February, and they recently received a letter in response. Our Thomas Chase met with the class and has more.
Dear President Trump, my name is Margaret Schieffer. I am a kindergarten teacher from Gilmore Elementary in West Virginia.
Every school year, kindergarten teacher Margaret Schieffer teaches the same President's Day lesson as when she began at Gilmore Elementary in 1987.
We began on President's Day. We talked about former presidents, George Washington, Abraham Lincoln, gave them some background there. Then we spoke about our current president and vice president. We talked about patriotism, our country. Each child learned how to say the pledge for us. They got their own flag.
Schieffer got inspiration for the lesson from growing up in the Washington, D.C. area and from her father and husband both serving in the military. The lesson teaches the kindergarten students that they are citizens of our country and to be proud of our country. Every year, the students in her class write a letter to the current president.
My 22 kindergarten students have been learning about being patriotic, our country, and all the presidents of the United States of America.
This year, the class received a response from President Trump.
Dear students, thank you for your wonderful letters. Mrs. Trump and I always enjoy hearing from bright young people like you from across our great nation. As president, my promise is to keep America the land of freedom and opportunity where you can grow, learn, and pursue your dreams.
How does this make you feel that you heard back from the president? Yeah.
Good.
Good? Yeah.
Happy.
Happy? Yeah.
Amazing.
At the end of the school year, students will receive a framed copy of the letter. According to Schieffer, this is the second time President Trump has written to the class following his letter in 2025. George W. Bush also wrote the class once during his term. In Sandyville, Thomas Chase with WTAP News. This is home.